Everybody, welcome to Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason, that's Jordan. Let's see where the internet takes us this week. As we always start off, drinks. We really don't have a theme drink this week. I can think of a number of reasons I could give you, but why lie? It's a broke week, so we're going with what's already in my stash, which is good old
Whiskey.
standby whiskey, Jameson 12. We have 3 beers, thanks to Jess. From the Belching Beaver Brewery. First we have a...
I know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes me smile. Belching beaver is another name for queefing.
Oh, the inside jokes abound. This one is called Miso Honey. This is a blonde ale brewed with honey. It's, interesting. It's only 5.5%. We have, also from the Belching Beaver Brewery, a peanut butter flavored milk stout, which
It's fantastic.
Is it fantastic?
Yeah, I've had it before.
Okay, I may have to go after that one.
Like I said, that one's good. Like I said, if you get like a good fruity like cider, do like a snake bite with that. I called it a peanut butter and jelly. It was fantastic.
I think we have a new drink in the future. That could be delicious. And this third one looks very interesting.
Asylum. I like how alcohol-wise, it's more potent than both those beers combined.
It really is. This is what, from the Left Coast Brewery?
That's what it said, yeah.
Okay.
In San Clemente.
So, I take it you're going for the Asylum.
Yeah.
Alright. And I'll go for the peanut butter.
Yeah, nothing like an 11.8 beer.
To go with your...
Whiskey?
with your whiskey.
If there's anything I've learned, you know what goes good with booze? More booze.
Exactly. Oh, wow, yeah. That peanut butter stout is amazing. That'll be... Yeah, I might have to get this again. That's actually really good. How was the Asylum?
It's not bad. It's what I would expect from a triple. Yeah, sorry, Belgian style triple. I had to stop and think about that for a second. Yeah, a lot of flavors, not bad.
Very nice. I'm sure we'll leave the miso honey for another time.
I'm more or less afraid, because I'm afraid by the time I finish the video, I'll be like, so anyways, the thing, what are we talking about? Like, I'm afraid I'm gonna be hammered off this one beer.
Here's the thing, though. This show goes off on so many tangents, no one would know the difference.
I blame you for that. You need to ring me in more often.
But I can't really do that if I myself go off on tangents.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so. Which is why we have a number of topics to discuss this week, but like always, we sometimes don't get to all of them, or we go off on so many tangents we forget where we left off at, so. But I guess that is the appeal of this show, but people keep on watching, so I guess it's doing something.
Disregard females, obtain currency.
Alright, let's jump on to the first topic for the week, which is a new trailer out for a movie called Cooties. This one kind of came out of left field for me. It is a zombie film, but not in the usual style. It starts off at a elementary school. You have all your teachers walking in, dealing with all the bratty kids. And all of a sudden, as it starts out with any zombie film, there's always patient zero. Starts expressing symptoms, hair is starting to fall out, starts attacking the other kids, spreading it, and the teachers finally realize that, or they assume, that it's the chicken nuggets that the kids are eating that are spreading the zombie virus, I guess.
The thing I love about this movie is the fact that it's, where is it? From the minds of Saw and Glee.
That's brilliant.
How and why that worked out, I have no idea. But it definitely looks like they took a guy from Glee and someone who worked on Saw, put him in a room together, probably got him super high and said, go write a script. And that's probably what came about.
Because honestly, this is something... You may have one kid in a zombie film and, you know, trying to have that whole act of unity of, oh no, he was too young or whatnot. And this one's just going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to, you know...
there's going to be a lot of kids who you just see get the shit kicked out of him, and I'm going to laugh every moment.
Great. There are several aspects of the trailer itself that tend to, give an homage to classic zombie films, other action films for that matter. The whole, hey guys, you remember that whole scene in every movie where it's the montage of them, you know.
Well, that's not really zombies. That's more action.
That's just action film, like I said. But the problem is they're in what was it? Looked like a gymnasium locker room or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
So you can't really expect.
Well, because you have Rainn Wilson as the gym teacher.
Yeah.
Which In the trailer, like I said, there's that one scene where he has like the aviators on, and he looks like the comedian from Watchmen.
Mm-hmm. But I will say with the trailer alone, I know I'll give it a shot. I'll probably go see it in theaters. It just after the first look, though, could you put it in the same level as, say, I know it's very early to say, but like Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks very Shaun of the Dead-ish, or maybe even Zombieland.
I would put it between the two. Zombieland had a little more of a
Because they're both comedies involving zombies.
right.
But
One had Bill Murray, the other did not.
well, it's more or less like Shaun of the Dead was still very serious with random comedic moments,
Yeah,
where Zombieland was comedic with a few serious moments.
very few serious moments
I feel like
that
this
turned
one-
into lead-ins to some sort of joke.
Yeah, but I mean, like this just seems like it's all supposed to be comedic. Like you can't really take a bunch of children getting bludgeoned with with giant band symbols seriously.
Oh, I'm just waiting for some, if not many, parent-teacher
Mothers
groups.
Against Movie Violence.
Oh, they're gonna put it in there saying, "How dare you destroy our kids like this?" I'm like, it's a
work of fucking fiction.
kids with a zombie virus, and
Do you ever think there'd be a school where you'd have someone that looks like Elijah Wood or Rainin Wilson in charge? I mean, don't get me wrong,
No.
they're both amazing actors, and I watch most of the things with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I would never leave my kids in charge of them. They look like they might be pedophiles.
Well, you never know about
That's
these
terrible to say, but
things. Thankfully, we won't have to wait too long to actually check this out. This is actually be opening in theaters September 18th of this year. So thankfully, it's a relatively short time frame rather than expect like a bunch of other films that we've been watching trailers for, and it's like, this looks great. When's it come out? A year and a half from now, kind of
that
thing.
went down the wrong pipe. Well, comedies, you don't really get that long of a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like, oh, here. Especially in September, it makes perfect fucking sense.
Kids going back to school, parents need.
Well, yeah, that's when you get school becoming a big deal again. You'll have Staples like releasing whatever commercial saying
Oh, I'm just waiting for
buy
the
their three
PTA to
buys
have.
whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, and it's not like a big Oscar contender that usually
Oh, hell
comes
no,
out
no.
like around December.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like it fits that bill perfectly.
Very true.
Speaking of bills,
Yes, Bill Murray. I'm very thankful that he has more work coming, and not just a bit part in some upcoming movie. He has a Christmas special on the way, and thankfully, this Christmas special is not going to be on any TV channel. He's going to have full reign to do pretty much whatever he wants, because this Christmas special is only available on Netflix.
woo!
Oh, it'd be so good. Special is called A Very Murray Christmas.
Well, because remember there was that Christmas card that came out with Bill Murray on it. It's like "Have yourself a Murray Christmas," and it's him just like naked with a scarf or some shit like that,
I vaguely remember that.
like a Christmas hat. Like he's not
Something.
fully clothed, but I remember that like it has the same name.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be one of those star-studded events because guest hosts will be George Clooney, Paul Schaefer, Amy Poehler, Michael Cera, Chris Rock, Maya Rudolph, Miley Cyrus, and more. So
Two of those I hate.
well, I'm guessing it'd be Miley Cyrus and Michael Cera.
Oh, God. Fuck that guy! I'm 2 days older than him.
And yet he's made more money than you wouldn't see in your
That's
entire
fine.
lifetime.
He's like Jack Black for me. If I ever see him in real life, I might just take a swing. Like I know I'll blatantly go to jail or probably just get that one punch in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be sitting in jail, just looking at my fist, and be like, "We did it."
What is this unbridled hatred for him? Where'd this come from?
He's awkward. That's all he fucking is. Like he's not that great of an actor.
He's pigeonholed
He's
into
annoying as
a
shit.
character. A lot of actors and actresses have that happen to them. Some are for the better. Some like this, like.
But some people pull it off, and he's just awkward, like in real life and everything. And in real life, he's a fucking hipster. The embodiment of everything that I hate. Do you not remember for like when I know I can't grow facial hair. Fuck you, because you can. But Michael Cera, for like a year, just had that little pedo stash.
Yes.
And just wears a beanie, and I'm sure the entire time he probably had like iPhone headphones in, listening to fucking Matt and Kim. But it's fucking hipster music. Look, I'm not condoning hipster culture wholeheartedly, but people who there are some people they're too hipstery for their own good. And those people are terrible.
I would say that most
I don't
hipsters,
go to Starbucks because, it's bad for the environment. and then they fucking peace off on their fucking 10 speed. No. We live in America. This is what happens. Consumerism. Capitalism at its finest.
There you go. Yeah, let's jump over to some Suicide Squad news, which it's starting to look more and more like
The Harley Quinn movie?
The Harley Quinn movie featuring cameos by the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, I even told you, it's like that's the only way that movie would make sense, because most people don't give a shit about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, like, even as a nerd, like, I'm not... There are people nerdier than I am, but I am pretty fucking nerdy. And even I look at the family photo and go, I know that guy, and maybe that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read the fucking books.
Right.
But, like, everyone can look at the poster or look at that photo and be like, oh, Harley Quinn. So the only way to make it relatable is by having Harley Quinn be, like, the centerpiece.
True. Very true. You did mention it, I think it was last week, that you can't have an origin story for everyone.
Oh, that was you.
With...
Yeah, you're like, I don't know how they're going to do this, because you can't have an origin story for everyone, because that's going to take way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I jumped in. It's like, or you can just do it for Harley Quinn.
Which seems to be the case, because there's now some set photos that were taken. It seems more and more that it correlates with the origin story that you're seeing, especially this one scene. There's pictures and video online right now of what looks like Harleen Quinzel, pre-Harley Quinn.
Yeah, she doesn't have any of the makeup on.
In that scene.
And didn't someone actually come out and say we're gonna tell her origin story in this?
I can't verify that. I haven't read that myself.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Like, it's the more and more I see, I'm excited for Harley Quinn, the whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one of those things. I don't want to fucking nerd rage like when they released the Joker photo. Fucking damaged across the fucking forehead.
Right, and then of course there was the purported secondary aspect to that photo.
Yeah, the mock one that I showed
you. The alleged
you.
Promotional video showing Harley Quinn is actually the one behind Joker.
And his bullshit tattoos.
Yeah, with all the tattoos and whatnot. It's been recently revealed that is actually a fake by a very talented artist who decided, you know what, I'm going to jump on this bandwagon and strike it while the iron's hot, and create this whole, excess scene. And let's face it, she pulled off the Harley Quinn fairly well just by using the promotional images so far.
Yeah, like you get like 2 sneaked images and she already fucking put together a cosplay of it.
Yeah. Then again, some cosplayers are going really, really fucking fast to how fast they can turn these around.
But dude, I remember someone the movie Guardians of the Galaxy was like 6 months out, like not even out yet, and someone had already did a Nebula cosplay that looked exactly like it did in the fucking film.
That's crazy.
But no, like with this, like I'm really excited. I mean, I'm not.
I mean, I did confirm that all those
face tattoos.
Oh man, that whole thing with that promo image, we tore to pieces. You remember a few episodes back.
But at least his lips look red. It doesn't look like
now it does.
Like I said, in the promo image, it just looked like he sucked off a bomb pop, like just purple lips.
But the thing is, now we've confirmed that the tattoos are there. That was real. That was no, hey, look, this is promotional for the 75th anniversary. It's actually not in the movie. No bullshit. It actually is. Now we get to his suit, which looks like he ripped off like a 90s pimp shop, or
I was gonna say an Iranian club owner.
That works
Florida,
as well.
But especially when it shows him like a Lamborghini or some shit.
Something like that. Some supercar.
And it's like, yeah, he looks like a douchebag.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I saw the videos that you sent me in question regarding the whole scene between Joker and Harley Quinzel. With all of this focus that we've seen so far on...
But see, I fear the aesthetics of it might take you out of it. Which, again, I can only hope that the Joker is just not fully in the movie, just more like he's just there for like a scene or two.
I'm wondering if that's actually going to be the case. I highly doubt it, just for the sole fact of how much promotional marketing has been done so far, focusing on Jared Leto's character of Joker. And if they're going to do this whole origin story
Why are you finger wagging?
Godzilla. Everyone talked about Bryan Cranston, but he was always going to be in Godzilla. And then lo and behold, he's there for like, what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes in the movie and they kill off
that was
Heisenberg.
a brilliant piece of marketing footage. You brought people into that movie.
She's got a point.
She has a very good
they
point.
They could pull a Bryan Cranston with this. Like, he's in the movie. He's in the movie. 20 minutes later, you never fucking see him again.
Here's the thing, though. If they're going to do this whole backstory of Harley and Quinzel, can they really just push through that entire bit in, like, 10 minutes?
20, 30 minutes of it, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, you could have it blatantly start off. You could have it, again, the way it looks like they're centering it around Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it, you know, someone's interviewing her, like, how are you fucking the way you are?
Right.
And you can have a flashback to the Joker. And that's how you can have all this, where she fucking gets pimp slapped.
Fair enough.
And then you're back to where you are now. Of course, he's probably going to show up again. And then it's probably her forming or Amanda Waller forming the Suicide Squad, but you have her as the main focal point.
True. I could see that. Okay, fair enough. You know me. I look at these things and I question it, but you've already didn't have to think about it. You already knew what was going to go on. You've called so many things, including the Marvel bit.
I'm a nerd. My job's to pay attention to small, minute details. And then sit there and overanalyze them until they go, okay, so this is what's going to happen.
I've been out-nerded so
Nerds don't like surprises.
Ain't that the truth? Of course, case in point, when we went to go see Avengers Age of Ultron, while we were buying the tickets, I went on to Wikipedia. I was like, oh, so that's happened. Oh, okay. I walked right into it. So, I guess, fair enough. But yeah, let's talk about Marvel real quick. They were teasing online just a quick little image that basically said, 8 months later. And, of course, you were already calling well before this image appeared that we're talking about another reboot of the Marvel Universe. And, yes, Marvel has come out and stated that there is an all-new, all-different Marvel on its way this fall. It's happening 8 months later, which is probably referring to the 8-month timeline jump following the conclusion of the current running Secret Wars.
They're making it seem like it's a fucking epilogue where it's like 8 months later.
Yeah, no, that's basically writer's prerogative to the nth degree. I'm going to have all this weird batshit crazy shit happen, but because I can't write myself out of it, I'm going to use writer's prerogative, reboot the fucking universe, and jump 8 months.
I told you have to kill a universe just so you can restart it again.
This is true.
The comic book industry is fucking the Phoenix in, editorial form. Or
for both Marvel and for DC. Because, while Marvel has Secret Wars going on right now, DC currently has their conversions.
Because they have to fucking kill off 52 because they realize no one likes that shit.
Out of the all 52, or the new 52, I think there was maybe like 4 titles I actually really enjoyed reading.
Don't you remember how batshit, like, crazy everyone went when the 52 started? Like, in the beginning, it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Wait, Superman shacking up with Wonder Woman. The fuck? Joker's face is ripped off, and then he just kind of reattaches it back. Yeah, we're gonna try to make Aquaman a badass. Now, Cyborg isn't Teen Titans. Now he's actually part of the actual fucking Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all these random changes are thrown at us, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then we sat there and looked at it for a second. Because again, as nerds, we pick apart the things we love.
Right.
And then went bullshit.
True. I mean, hell, even one of Marvel's writers, Dan Slott, decided to put up a little teaser of himself on his Twitter page saying, couldn't hurt to read the Secret Wars issues of Silver Surfer. No reason. And given Silver Surfer's legacy, especially with, all these massive, not world change, but
Infinity Gauntlet.
I was going to say, this giant 2.5-inch dictionary I'm still trying to get through right now,
it's beefy.
A majority of it is, Silver Surfer. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with all of this. I don't know. I just worry that, I understand that when it comes to comics, reboots, relaunches, whatever you want to call them, happen almost on an annual basis, if not sooner than that.
Well, now, yeah.
Basically, for the sole fact that
no one has the attention span anymore. Think about how we get our information in general. Like, my grandma watches the news. My dad probably watches, like, the Colbert Report or shit like that from time to time. My attention span's even shorter. I watched the Philip DeFranco show.
Yeah. Philip DeFranco, SourceFed, YouTube videos, or
you know what I mean? Like,
faster than that, you have Twitter, you have social media.
People even worse who can't sit down and watch a 5-minute video.
Hell, people at this point can literally just, if they're seeing something newsworthy, could be, well, that's a vague definition of newsworthy, they can just pop on a number of apps on their phone, Periscope, or
dude, even I've gotten my news off of my fucking Facebook feed. It's the way technology works now. It's how you can just rapidly produce things.
Mm-hmm.
But But the comic book industry, it's think about it, like in the 80s, everything leading up to that was still built off of like the original Silver Age.
Well, at that point, you can literally
Like instead of like the revamps that we're getting like every year now. Back then, it's like you had the Golden Age comics.
Yeah.
Lasted what, 20 years?
Easily.
If that. Then you had the Silver Age. Lasted 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Then the Bronze Age. Which lasted maybe 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like, oh yeah, now the new generation of comics, like it lasts
Reboot,
2-3 years
reboot.
tops, and then we have to restart everything again.
Exactly. Which sucks because when you read back some of the older, like Silver Age, even Bronze Age comics, some of the storylines would take literally like 3 or 4 years to go through.
Yeah.
But they were fantastic because it allowed the writers to go in there and actually create.
Flush everything out. Dude,
It was
that's why I told you,
great
the
story arcs.
last long series I read was the whole Blackest Night series. Because that took like 3-4 years to do.
Yep.
Because you had it start with the Rebirth, where they brought Hal Jordan back.
Right.
And then there was everything leading into that, him trying to reconcile his being an asshole as Parallax. Then you had the Sinestro Corps War, and then and that seemed like the big thing they were leading up to, and it was like, oh, that's not even the halfway point. Because after that, it's like, okay, now here's everything fucking else.
Right.
Everything's going to shit. By the way, here's an even worse scenario going on that's going to take another year to flourish or flesh out. And it's like, holy fuck, someone took their time.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
Jeff Johns, he's like, yep. He's like, I took all my love of the Silver Age comics and found a way to fit everything into now. Like, he found a way to explain shit that,
Yeah.
he'd only read about when he was, like, in his teens.
Stuff that would have taken, 8 or 9 issues, he was able to fit into, like, a few pages.
Yeah.
And it worked fantastic.
And even that, like, that entire thing led to Flashpoint.
Which is still quintessentially one of the most favorite
Oh, it's a
story
fantastic
arcs
stories.
from the Flash. But
The only downside is that's what gave us the 52.
yeah,
Like, that's how they decided to end it. It goes out with a whimper, not a bang.
yeah, and that's the thing though, is especially if you take it to nowadays, if you try to have some sort of event like that, because they reboot so fast, so often, that the slightest whiff of change
If something
in
going
a most
wrong.
minute character series, they may not even push 30,000 copies a month. Could be even less than 5,000.
Well, dude,
That
they're like-
little tiny thing could easily have Marvel or DC or even Vertigo or all these other comic publishers and go, you know what?
It's lazy
That's
writing.
kind of a good idea. Reboot everything based on that.
Well, no, it's lazy writing. Instead of trying to write their way out of it, they just go, whoops, my mistake, reset.
Yeah. You can't say that your entire comic book universe had a blue screen of death and reboot the whole damn thing.
Error
But apparently they
404.
can. I don't know. I mean, again, we're venting for the sake of venting at
And
this point.
we'll probably still read all of this and be like, this is bullshit.
Oh, it goes back to that.
Bring me
that,
the next
That
issue.
one video we saw, like, Marvel, how about I just give you $500 and you give me a ticket for everything to come out for the
that was
next
cracked.
10
It was
years?
oh, fucking, I love Daniel
We
O'Brien.
may
on there.
bitch about it, but we're gonna go watch it anyways.
Yeah, like that. It was like what? Daniel O'Brien did like a 5-minute video of him complaining like all his frustrations with the Marvel U.
Right.
And it ended with, so can I just give you like $500 and you can just give me a ticket to everything you're gonna do? Like, just make things easier on all of us.
Yeah. Although I will say though that DC, at least with their TV series, if they charge it for like the Blu-rays and whatnot, understandably so. They have yet to prove themselves with the movies, but with their TV series, goddamn, they've been doing amazing work. Especially because the season finale of The Flash, for those of you who are watching and haven't watched the season finale of Flash, you should probably stop watching right now because we're gonna get pretty deep into the spoilers.
Or if you don't give a shit, just keep watching anyways.
Yeah, true. Pop a few more beers and hit play. You'll enjoy.
Yeah. No, like I told you, like I was missing Flash for like a good month, and then I fucking just powered through.
Right.
And it kind of worked out because the finale, like I felt bad. The girlfriend's like, "Hey, let's hang out." I'm not gonna hang out tonight. Why? Because I'm gonna watch The Flash.
Yeah.
Well, I can watch The Flash too. No, because you're gonna want to talk.
You're gonna question everything and whatnot. And the thing is,
don't get me wrong, like I enjoy her company, but it's one of those things like it's. When I watch something like The Flash, like something I've invested like months just watching, I know I don't want to be mean to her, so it's like I'm just gonna watch this,
right?
And I will digest at my own speed. For me to have to sit and stop and just be like, all right, so this is Barry Allen.
Oh god,
This is what happened, and this is what's going on. Who's that chick? That's Caitlin Snow. She's one of the scientists, and she's there to help him. Who's that guy with the long hair? That's Cisco.
Cisco.
Like, she wants to get into it too, but I don't have the time to sit. I don't.
Why is he
sit
named
there.
after a big brand? No.
Oh, she wouldn't know that. Knowing Cisco, like, as the computer brand, that's nerdy.
Yeah, I know.
Those who know that reference already watched the fucking show.
Good point. I have to say, though, that before we move on with the season finale of Flash, this series has impressed
Jay
me.
Garrick.
Oh, God. We're going to jump right into it? Okay,
I don't
fine.
give a fuck. We have already mentioned spoilers, so I want to get that over and done with.
All right, I was going to say they've done a phenomenal job in this first season. Like, the amount of storylines that they have pushed through in this first season is incredible, and it's still enjoyable.
And it seems like they're all doing with love. Like, they just kind of went like, okay, everyone's trying to do dark and gritty, and they came out, it's like, that's not really the Flash.
Nope.
So we're just going to do this.
Yeah.
The Flash, because I think they even mentioned the detective, the one that's his dad. He even made the comment. It's like, you're not like Arrow. You're not like Oliver Queen.
Right.
Your greatest weakness is the fact that you believe in people, and that's also your greatest strength. And they blatantly like that. He is the fucking heart of the Justice League.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the Hawkeye minus, the Legolas powers. And that's what the Flash has always been.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you have his multiple enemies. I mean, especially, Reverse Flash, which everything they were talking about in this series leading up to this, almost the last 15 minutes of the episode, I was dead sure that they were going to go for Flashpoint.
Oh, dude.
They could have easily gone
Dude,
this
no,
way.
sorry, I have to play this
Go
before
for
my
it.
fucking head explodes. One of the producers or something like that, someone asked him about Tom Cavanaugh, if he's going to be back at all. They're like, oh, yeah. No one disappears forever.
Really? Okay.
So now I have to wonder if he's coming back as actual Wells. Because remember, Tom Cavanaugh
yeah.
technically is playing Wells because the whole face shifty bullshit.
Right.
But it's one of those things like,
Yeah. That
I
make
love
a lot
the
of nerds
Flash,
very.
I want more, and I want it now.
Especially with the whole thing with him running through time and all the different
the Speed Force.
the absolute numerous amounts of hints and that they have for future story arcs. I mean, they tied in Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, I called it Legends, not Children of Tomorrow, like I did last
That's
week.
fine.
Yeah, I know.
You learned your mistake.
Yeah.
Do you want a fucking cookie? You got Jammy Dodgers
we
over there.
we have cookies right here.
Those two.
Yes.
The Flash Museum.
That was a nice homage. I was happy to see that Cisco is essentially going to turn into Vibe. That was a nice bit, but that's been foreshadowed a little bit when he started remembering what happened in the alternate universe or the multiverse, I guess you can call it. You've
And
already
then Killer Frost.
Killer
That
Frost
was the one that excited me.
That's gonna be fun. But you already mentioned the one that I was really happy about. Seeing the helmet.
Yeah.
Jay Garrick. Oh.
Yeah. The only superhero running around in a fucking t-shirt and jeans. Well, the only one that's supposed to. Remember when they had the fucking New 52? When Superman first came out and he was just rocking a t-shirt and jeans?
Yeah.
It barely worked when they had Superboy doing it, and that was...
Questionable at best.
The Flash is amazing.
But yeah, so season 2, I mean...
It's fucking cock tease of an ending.
Oh, God. The near infinite possibilities being with, the integration with the multiverse not only helps solidifies DC's decision to go, we're going to have the TV series be their own, universe, and we're going to have the movies be a separate universe. Because now you can go and do so many different things without fear of continuity that I know some...
Grant Gustin's my Flash. I don't give a fuck. They can have that other weird guy all they want. You have to respect a guy that fucking took time out of his life and... I mean, granted, publicity stunt or whatever the fuck have you. The man sat down and just wrote a giant letter to the fans going, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. It's
class act, that guy.
There are a few people...
I doubt you're watching, but good on you, sir.
There are a few people in the industry that could get that kind of respect from fans. There's very few characters that, well,
Nathan Fillion
would get to that level of adoration, regardless of whatever format it's been presented. Case in point, Deadpool. Deadpool may have stumbled a couple times here and there, but the fans really never wavered from him, and received a huge push.
No, stumbled implies there were small hiccups.
There were small
Deadpool
hiccups.
fucking fell on his face after X-Men Origins Wolverine. That wasn't even Deadpool.
It wasn't Deadpool. That's why I don't consider it part of it.
But yes, it's fucking Deadpool. Sadly, my inner nerd just like, yeah, no, we deleted that from our memory. That just doesn't fucking exist.
No, it doesn't.
But when mouth sewn shut, weird laser beam eyes with domino,
yeah,
the weird Baraka claws. Mm-hmm. They look like Baraka claws.
They
right?
were Baraka claws. Yeah. No, you couldn't get around that.
Digging deep, making a Mortal Kombat reference. But no, in that movie when he was Wade Wilson, when it was Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson in the fucking elevator, and after that was fucking spot on. Mm-hmm. And then after everything else that, let's be honest, that prior to that fucked the mutant side of Marvel, the X-Men and everything else.
Oh yeah.
After that, they're like shit. So I don't know if you remember this. There were 2 movies that went up in production at the same time: X-Men Origins Wolverine and X-Men Origins Magneto.
Yes.
But then after, they're like, all right, let's do Wolverine because he's obviously more profitable, and they went.
Yep.
They did that, and then after that turned out, and everyone went, what the fuck is this? And just fucking internet flipped over the table and said, we're done.
Yep. Fox went, what other series? We didn't know the movie project. No.
It was just sex. I'm like, all right, that would actually been pretty good to have a Magneto movie.
Oh, well.
Because, eventually they kind of fused that into First Class.
Kinda, yeah. And then, of course, at the end of it, they retconned the whole fucking thing, so. All the Sam Raimi movies, they never existed.
What do you mean Sam Raimi?
The original, X-Men. Was I completely wrong again? I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, that wasn't Sam Raimi.
Was I wrong completely?
Jessica, do you want to say that out loud again so you can correct him?
Bryan Singer. I'm being corrected by my girlfriend. That it's proof that 1, I have failed immensely, and 2, my girlfriend is awesome.
And 3, I would say I trained her correctly, but she takes an interest in weird shit that I do, like being a nerd. So she can generally hold her own against people who claim they're a nerd and then get corrected by those who don't associate themselves as that.
I hope you can see this because I'm doing this as hard as I can.
Fair enough, Moon and Knight. But no, I mean, think about it. Bryan Singer came back and did Days of Future Past. What was the first thing he did? Oh yeah, those movies I didn't do didn't happen. Let's start this over again.
Right.
Which is funny because apparently after Apocalypse, that's going to be the end, and they're going to either be done or just revamp from there.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably get.
I guess the Days of Future Past was more or less telling a cool story and setting up for Apocalypse, which is why that was the ending that they had.
Right.
But I guess Age of Apocalypse is supposed to be the end of the saga.
I could see that. I mean, there's always hope that Fox gets a deal that Sony cut with Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel Disney, where it's like, we can reboot our characters. They will be within, officially, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
But I like the idea of Sansa being Jean Grey. I'm sorry, I have a weakness for the Ginge.
I know,
I don't give a fuck.
know.
Although she makes me just feel really creepy because she's like 16 in real life, or 17. Whatever.
They're there.
Anywho's
All
Deadpool.
Right, back to Deadpool. Yes,
They can do no wrong.
They really haven't at this point. They released a draft of the script years ago, and that got a lot of buzz, positive buzz. Then they leaked the test footage, and that went freaking crazy.
Dude, I told you there was a Deadpool Twitter account that came out, and it's like, you have to, during Comic-Con, it was like, you have to love it. My potato quality footage is creating more buzz than Batman vs Superman, and it's fucking true.
I have to say their marketing department is fantastic, especially for the fact, speaking of the Twitter account, he has over 81,000 followers, probably more than that at this point, but he is only following one account. The Deadpool account is only following Hello Kitty. Is that not quintessentially Wade Wilson?
Yeah. I mean, I also feel like he'd probably be following random celebrities that he hates. Super obscure characters. You know, like he'd probably be following like Ralph Macchio. Just be like, fuck the Karate Kid. You know, just sending out the occasional tweet, Daniel San can suck it. Or something weird like that. But like that's but no, that's why the April Fool's video that they did was so fucking perfect.
It was.
Because it's one of those things that came out and it's like, oh, this is actually happening, and it's like, nope. Fuck you, Slater. And it's like, oh my god. Like, I just remember sitting there one of those few times.
So
I mean,
good.
Clearly I'm a man of way too many words. But after I watched that video, like, I was just dumbfounded. It's like, I have no words. And I just sat there going, replay.
Yeah, a lot of people did the exact same thing, myself included. There's been several images, tweets, photos that have come out so far because they're now, currently filming. And the most recent bit...
Yeah, I was gonna say, but the new Make-A-Wish thing?
Yeah. So...
How can you not want to just, like, high-five Ryan Reynolds?
It's so good. So Make-A-Wish Foundation got a request from a little kid named Tony Acevedo asking if he can meet Deadpool. Not only did Ryan Reynolds say, yeah, sure, come on down, but brought this kid down. The kid, grabbed the mask, put the gloves on, smile, beat Deadpool across the face. He just had a total blast. There's all these pictures and a couple of videos out there of Ryan Reynolds hanging out on set with this kid, just having a blast, making this kid's day, making this kid's life, most likely. Again,
that's both bleak and uplifting. Poor choice of words.
I don't care.
That's the highlight of his life. He's only 12.
He
so that's
has
as far as he's
Hodgkin's
gonna get in life.
disease. It's the
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Make-A-Wish
You didn't have to
Foundation.
word it like that, like a dick. It's probably the highlight of his life.
Come on. This is the part of the show where Jason stops talking and just lets Jordan take over the whole time.
Me stepped down from my soapbox and just basically said Deadpool's awesome. And I can't wait for the movie.
It will be fun regardless.
Hey man, I'll dress up like Fat Deadpool. You know I do that for midnight movies.
True.
Come on, so much moose knuckle, Jessica. Embrace it.
You did that for
not physically, because that's weird.
So Jordan decided to dress up as Captain America for Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah, describe what you were wearing.
First off, when the Halloween costumes say one size fits all, I'm a full-figured woman. Full size fits all doesn't really apply to me, apparently. No, you showed a photo on the last episode.
I did.
Where again, wasn't pretty. Not in the slightest. But booze helps.
The booze did help, yes.
But again, you can see that's the reason why I do the midnight movies the way I do them.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and get hammered.
Yep.
Go walk into the movie with all your friends, and then use those 2 hours to sober up, and then fucking go home.
Yeah.
I take that back. Usually we hang outside the theater and talk for like 30, 45 minutes just because we all have our grievances or things we want to discuss. And usually it ends up me just sitting there ranting like these podcasts.
Well,
the only difference is I'm smoking.
The whole thing with going outside right after seeing a nerd movie like that, you have...
Well, dude, I felt bad because you fucking disappeared because Jessica works way too goddamn much or she was fucking tired.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, you missed one of my favorite parts of midnight movies where we just literally we all dissect the movie and it's like, what do we
Which
make
is what
predictions.
I usually do, yeah.
Yeah, no, we do that immediately outside. Like, we walk to, like, the first planter where there's an ashtray.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, because we're all fucking addicts, we all light up a cigarette and be like, so what'd you think of the movie? Wasn't bad. What'd you not like? This. What do you think's gonna happen? This, and this. Before you know it, it's like, oh, we've been out here for half an hour. Let's go home.
That's almost one of the best parts of
there are
the
two
movie.
cops on Segways about to roll up on us.
They're little electric tricycles going up on us, yes.
Hey, they think they're cool. One of my favorite parts about Disneyland was watching a flock of people on Segways, and one of the dudes basically ate shit and he hit his fucking face on the bars. As my sister can attest to this because she worked at Disney as well.
Mm-hmm.
Once you leave costuming and you have to go all the way around to head towards Main Street,
right?
There's this fucking slope of a hill, like right below the train tracks.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
There's that big-ass fucking slope, and then it goes back up. They went down, and they tried to go up, and the guy wasn't quite figuring it out. And he tried to lean back to try to get it to go, and his foot slipped, and his chin just went right in there, and he just fucking fell and ate shit. It was one of the few moments in my life, it's like, I don't know if I should check to see if he's okay, or proceed to laugh.
The usual.
I
path
walked
is-
away and went, fuck. And then proceeded to laugh maniacally once I knew I was out of ear and eye shot.
Good man. All right. You know what? Let's wrap up things with a couple questionable things. First up, Delta.
I just want to talk about the Delta video.
Yeah. So pre-flight, the safety video that you see in the beginning of any flight.
I don't want to waste it.
Some airlines decide to play it straight. Some airlines try to.
Like, I get that some people want to take, certain comedic freedoms to kind of, because let's be honest,
It's an incredibly boring. thing. No one pay attention to
some
it.
people are dumb as shit, so you need to make things fun and exciting so people fucking pay attention.
Not to mention the whole liability thing. If you don't actually have somebody either say it or you have a video to showcase all the safety features and something possibly happens on that flight, you're kind of screwed because they'll sue you to the ground.
This video, Delta made a flight safety instructional video. The only problem is it's filled with internet memes. And the worst part about it is, as even I watched it, I'm like, oh my god, this looks like something my grandmother may have created. Or at least she's like, remember that fucking piano cat? Like, things that's like, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And those were all the memes they used.
But it was a combination of more recent, very popular, very mainstream memes, and some very far-reaching ones.
Name me one that was around less than 5 years.
Less than 5 years? I want to say the overly attached girlfriend. More than 5 years. God damn.
Which is fine, because yet another woman that I adore.
Between that one, you had Nyankat, you had the Dancing Baby, which was
the Dancing Baby. I say, really? Remember that bitch showing up in Ally McBeal?
God.
Yeah, if we're gonna go that far back, if you can remember, it's like, oh, that was in that TV show on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was.
What does that fucking tell you?
Yeah, it was surprising to see how far-reaching they were with some of their the memes that they decided to include in this video.
But
now, granted,
I will say this: it's a fun watch, though. Like, I watched it; it's like, oh, that's entertaining.
It is a fun watch. The Doge, the dog video.
Yeah, that dude.
I
Doge
laughed
at the
so
end,
hard
that
at
was
that.
awesome. I'm sorry, Jessica, but Doge was one of my favorite parts of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you
Much
completely
safety.
with that. Very plain. The whole thing, though, is that there are a number of airplane safety videos out there that try to make it entertaining as hell. I mean, hell, I think it was some New Zealand company got this whole thing to do with Lord of the Rings and brought a bunch of the characters in for it.
Like the
And
actual characters, like
yeah,
they get Frodo.
it was like actually like it was
like Elijah Wood as Frodo.
It was phenomenally shot. I'm like, why are the hobbits on a?
Why have I not seen this?
I'll find it for you.
Oh my god.
It is fairly impressive, but I mean, hell, even here in the States, Virgin Airways did this whole safety video in the style of like a pop music video.
Well, that's what Virgin does.
They're always.
I mean, that's what Richard Branson.
Yes.
Like, he's all just fucking flash.
Yes, he is.
I mean, you have to respect the man for his business acumen, but still, like, that man.
I don't know.
Look, I'd say check it out. Just watch it at least once.
Just search for Delta internet test safety video.
Well, see, that's just it. Like, the link that you sent it to me, it says, how long can you tolerate Delta's internetiest safety video? And it's one of those things like, I tolerated it. I watched it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Because there were bits of it that were funny, and it's...
There's always little bits here and there in the background that you weren't expecting the first time around to see. Like the whole... the guy from Will It Blend showing up in the...
at the end.
A couple other of the videos.
But
not
see,
even at the end, but other parts as well.
But not even that. Well, he showed up in the fucking Harlem Shake, and then he had
Right,
the end
right.
thing. But, I mean, for me, who basically spent most of his life on the internet and dealing with pop culture, it was fun to go back and see shit. It's like, oh, I remember that from high school, and even some things, like, I remember that from fucking junior high, because it had the fucking dancing banana.
Right. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about tonight is a movie that was successfully funded on Kickstarter about a year ago. It is billed as a complete homage to everything 80s action flick. the creator, the writer, the director, and star of this, it's called this short called from David Sandberg. It's called Kung Fury. They were asking initially for $200,000 to help finish with the production and the special effects. At the end of their Kickstarter, they garnered over $630,000 to create this film, which they did. And they finished it. All the backers received a copy of it. It was batshit crazy insane as expected.
Can we get drunk and watch this one day?
Yes.
Like, I remember hearing about it, but I never actually watched it. And while you were talking, I was reading this.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it says, let's see, there are also copious use of the Nintendo Power Glove.
Yes.
How can you not think back to Wizard with fucking Fred Savage?
Yep.
It's rad. Oh my god, that movie was fucking terrible, but
so
it's
many
entertaining.
Things.
And because why not? To fight Kung Fu Master Adolf Hitler. Yes, you read that correctly.
Yes. This whole thing was quintessentially 80s. Everything from the power glove to the headband to the jacket that the character wears to the outrageous action scenes to, yes, there's one point where a guy flips a freaking
I was gonna say, a music video featuring David Hasselhoff.
No, that thing is just impressive by itself.
Hasselhoff, man.
There's the whole scene of him using a skateboard to flip a fucking supercar up 10 stories. It's absolutely ridiculous. Him holding onto the bottom rung of a helicopter while shooting up, trying to destroy it.
Well, dude, and here's the thing. Because I remember this because it came out. I remember reading about it. It didn't come out, but I remember reading about it the same time Far Cry 2 did their DLC. It was like Blood Dragons or whatever.
Yes, their whole 80s tribute. I played that. It was 4 hours of so much fun.
I've watched way too many Let's Plays, and I watched that, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Because
T-Rexes with fucking lasers on their head. It was great.
Because around the time that came out, that was around the same time that we also got Hotline Miami 1.
Yep.
Like, I don't know who crossed the finish line first, or whoever decided, let's bring back the 80s and their ultra-violence and neon-y goodness. I mean, unfortunately, any of these games or movies, I never played them. The closest I got was when they released Double Dragon Neon.
Okay.
And if you've never played that, ooh. I can attest to this. Every single one of the people I consider best friend, which, let's be honest, we all have a couple.
We do, yes.
Soon, before my Xbox becomes obsolete and dies completely, I'll blank it over so we can play. But Double Dragon Neon, that game's fucking amazing.
It really is.
Because it is a throwback to the old school beat 'em up. But it's filled with so much neon-y, if that's even a fucking word.
We'll
just
call it that,
glam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
80s goodness.
Yes.
I think I've beaten that game like 4 or 5 times.
So why are we talking about Kung Fury? Well, because a cable channel called the El Rey Network, which I found out is actually masterminded by Robert Rodriguez, who created, Sin City, Spy Kids, Grindhouse, or at least the better part of it.
Well, he did the first one.
Yes.
Because Grindhouse was technically, it was the first one. Fuck, why am I blanking on the name? It was the chick with the machine gun leg. I think it was like Planet Terror.
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Because Death Proof was the second half of it. That was Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
But he had Planet Terror, I believe, was the name of it. And that was his baby. That had Rose McGowan with machine gun leg.
Yes. So, but yes, his channel, the El Rey Network, has picked up the broadcast rights to this amazing film, and it will be debuting on their channel May 28th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So those of you who can haven't watched it on YouTube or whatnot, you can catch it on the El Rey channel. That is amazing that someone picked up something that was initially launched via a Kickstarter.
But the fact that I didn't know El Rey Network was owned by Robert Rodriguez,
which makes perfect sense all of a sudden.
Exactly. The second, because when you showed me the trailer, I'm like, the fuck is an El Rey Network? And so now that you're pointing out to Robert Rodriguez, that fucking makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
I mean, look at his El Mariachi movies. I mean, was it the first one? He funded that movie himself by fucking selling blood and semen.
Yep. the lengths that guy went to create some of his movies was just impressive. And honestly, the films that he makes are so out of this world, they're entertaining as fuck.
No, not even that. Like, even if they don't make sense, they're still visually, like, everything else is there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was the first Spy Kids, where you had Ellen Cumming as, like, this weird, twisted Pee-wee Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even as a child, I'm like, this makes no fucking sense, but I'm into it.
Yep.
Because I remember at the same time, I can't remember, it was either my mom or it was either my dad or my stepmom at the time. I was never a fan of that woman, but she was one of the only people that's like, oh, you're a nerd, you'll probably enjoy this too. Like, the woman bought me my first Zelda game.
Ah, gotcha.
Ocarina of Time. But I remember when we saw Spy Kids immediately after that, no, it was my dad. My dad was the one that was like, oh, have you ever seen any of the El Mariachi movies? Fuck is an El Mariachi movie? Like,
You sat down and watched them
I'm
all?
like, the fuck is that? So like, just like when we go to a Mexican restaurant, it's just those three dudes like with all basically looking guitars, singing music. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. He's like, no, it's Antonio Banderas. Zorro? Just sit down and watch this movie. And I sat there and went, oh my god, this is awesome. I mean, eventually I saw the newer one. I think it was Once Upon a Time in Mexico with Johnny Depp, and that was fucking amazing too. But I have a secret love crush. Not even that secret. Like, I love anything almost 80s. I mean, even my sister, I think her and I are on the same boat. Like, anytime we hear it's an homage to the 80s, it's like, shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
So I can pass judgment on either seeing if it's good or amazing or just shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that I full-heartedly expect to now watch that. But
This is a movie, or just a short for that matter, that we will definitely be following. Definitely, if we can't get on the El Rey Network, we will find it online some way so we can sit there and watch it, preferably with drinks.
well, dude, you've seen how many Xboxes are at my place. Literally, just load it onto a flash drive. As long as it's in AVI format, it'll play.
We're good. All right.
Exactly.
Which is why we'll probably be doing the same thing and cringing the whole time, sadly, about the Supergirl pilot, which was
I fucking hate
leaked,
Calista Flockhart.
allegedly leaked. I'm like, bullshit. This was allegedly leaked. This was completely leaked by the company itself.
Well, yeah, even you said that it was reminiscent of what they did with the Flash,
Mm-hmm. 6
where
months
it's like
before-
nerds were pissed off and talking shit, so they're like, okay, we leaked this. Well, no, it got out.
and within like 24 hours of the first episode being leaked,
Well, at
everybody's
least
like,
with the Flash, like all the
with
nerds
the Flash,
fucking
everyone's
shut
like,
up.
whoa, okay, yeah, we like this scene.
Yeah, all the nerds shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry, like 90% of the nerds shut up, and then there's always like that 10%,
Yes.
which I always imagine like that episode of South Park where they're playing World of Warcraft. That one fat guy that's just like because let's be honest, there is that 10% out there where
Yes.
they're literally just there's just a fat guy just raining on everyone's parade.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when Flash got leaked, it was like everyone was pissed, and then it was leaked, and everyone saw it and like, this is fucking amazing.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the leak of Supergirl just came out today, so I haven't watched it yet.
I have it downloaded. Full disclosure, we'll probably watch it very soon.
So next week we'll probably
Talk about it.
we can
But-
actually give a legit 2 cents.
Early reviews so far on it have not been completely positive. It is not as bad as everyone thought it would be.
Yeah, say
but
that's what I've read online. Like,
but it is
wasn't-
more Ally McBeal than it is Supergirl, which makes it will still make almost everyone cringe.
At least I got my
It's
sister's cookies.
it's too generic to be nerdy. Let's call it that.
Well, I remember when it first came out, like my first thing was like, okay, it's not marketed to dudes.
Oh no, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
So that we're not the target demographic,
No.
but we will still have an opinion about it regardless.
No. Like, I will probably wait until Jessica watches it until I decide what's going on. Because she's been raised with nerd tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
So if she watches it and it's like, it's not bad, like I like it, I think the show might actually do well.
Right.
And I'll try to watch it maybe even through her eyes or even on my own. Because as she's been raised with nerd tendencies, I've been raised with women tendencies. what happens when you live in a house with way too many fucking women. I don't even knock it. Dude, do you have any idea how many times like I've talked to women, it's like, oh yeah, I watched this one movie, you're probably not into it. What movie? Oh, 10 Things I Hate About You. You realize I've watched that movie so many times. I burnt out the fucking DVD. You did? Yeah. 13 Going on 30 is my shit. Dude, come on.
Going
you
back
have
to-
Elektra dating fucking Bruce Banner.
Going back to 10 Things I Hate About You, I will be full disclosure. I watched that for the first time like last week.
Because she made you?
Yeah. Well, she was watching it. I was sitting on the computer. I was like, I'm hearing in the background. I'm like, this sounds familiar. Like the types of tones going on. I go online, do a quick Wikipedia search. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I know this whole storyline. Okay, cool. Let's watch it.
Because they're taming of the truth?
Yes. So, with your hair going all sorts of crazy.
No, it was getting in my face and it was bothering me.
Well, I think that's a good time for us to stop then at that point. We've gone through a lot of stuff this week. We didn't even get through everything. But then again, like we said at the beginning of the episode, there are tangents that we go off on so many times.
Yeah, but in all fairness, this is probably the closest we've ever gotten to finishing everything.
This is true. There is one final thing we will mention, though. It is officially right now 24 weeks before the premiere of 007 Spectre. So, there's also 24 Bond films. So I want to put this challenge out to all of you, and we'll start next week. To watch every single Bond film, one a week, starting this week.
I'm in. Like, this is...
I'm completely for this.
Like, I'm fucking in for one reason. Like, I remember my dad, I'm not a fan of the man in certain instances, but... Yeah, I know. Whinge all you want. I'll explain myself later. But no, like, I remember he told me he was into the Bond movies, and he's like, hey, he tried to get me to watch one when I was, like, 5.
Right.
And it was one of the old school Sean Connery ones. I'm like, no, and I just fucking left the room.
Right.
And then, right before Quantum of Solace came out, they had all of them on, I think it was, like, Stars on Demand or some shit like that.
Okay.
And it's like, well, I've never seen them before. So in the span of Thursday night, well, like around midnight, so it was basically Friday, until Sunday, I watched all 24.
Good.
Well,
man.
all 23 at that point, or 22.
Okay.
Like, I watched all of them, like, man, these movies actually aren't bad. Sean Connery is definitely the best. Roger Moore is not bad. Timothy Dalton, I can see why he gets a lot of shit, but he did one of my favorite Bond movies.
But then you get to
Pierce Brosnan. It's like Pierce Brosnan, that's the Bond that I knew. Like, that was what I grew
That's the
up
Bond
with.
you grew up with.
Yeah. And then I realized, like, everything clicked. It's like, oh my god, so Bond is just a product of his time. Like, whatever generation he's in, that's what you're going to cling to.
To which you look right now,
which makes me feel
Daniel Craig right now.
Which makes me feel even like an older man, because the Bond I most identify with is fucking Sean Connery. There's
no problem with that whatsoever.
Best line of dialogue in any Bond movie in Goldfinger. In the very beginning, Felix is that it walks into a hotel like pool area to find Bond, and Bond is there laying next to a girl and looks up, and they have like a brief exchange and goes, oh, Felix, this is Mink. Mink, say goodbye to Felix. What? Sorry, darling. Man talk. And then slaps her on the ass, and she just fucks off, and you never see her again. I'm like, oh my god, that is James
of the
Bond.
era. Yeah.
And because, that's exactly what it is. Felix, this is Mink. Say hello to Mink. Mink, say goodbye to Felix.
You couldn't imagine Daniel Craig's version of Bond doing that.
Unfortunately, every time I think about Daniel Craig Bond, I think about that weird scene in Casino Royale where he's buck fucking naked, like with his legs tied together, and he's sitting in that fucking chair.
I got an itch. Can you mind?
And he's just getting his nuts hit.
Yep.
Because, oh my god, like any guy, any man, we enjoy a good nut shot video because it makes us laugh. But when it gets to the point where it's that brutal, we're sitting there slowly crossing our legs going, nope. Nope.
And yet he had the balls to go, I got an itch.
Well, because that's James Bond. Like, that's...
Do you mind? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this hurts, but you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I remember seeing that at Men's Chinese, and the whole place was just erupting with laughter.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm down to do this 24-week challenge.
So let's go with the first one. This week we'll talk about...
Dr. No.
Dr. No. Sean Connery. Good times.
Get that fucking.
So,
God damn it.
Once you guys do the exact same thing, you guys go out there. Most of you probably have these on DVD. If not, they're available on demand or probably on Hulu or Netflix or something out there.
Yeah, there's multiple means to finding it.
Watch it.
Go to Walmart. They always have like the weird single DVDs you can buy for like $2.
Yeah, exactly. It's something you should have in your collection regardless.
Some of the Bond movies you can skip, but Doctor No is a fucking classic.
I know, I agree. But go ahead and watch it. We'll have our review of it for next week. We want to have you guys give us your review on next week's episode in the YouTube comics as well. Maybe we'll go ahead and share a few of them on the following week's episode.
Yeah, or just write it on this video and then we'll bring it up if you can make me laugh.
That works. We'll see what happens. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. You've ran out of drink. Pour some of your beer into your drink.
Or you can finish yours and we can do the plum wine.
Oh, God.
Because there's not enough there for a shot in the first place. Did you like how I planned that?
Yeah, you planned it very well. So, the drink will end out with this.
Bonus booze.
Choya Umeshu. It's basically a plum wine. This is,
Basically, Jason is way more Japanese than he's willing to admit.
So, we will, here you go. What we have right here. So it shows up. Yes, it does. There we go. And pour that in there. Not with the plum, though. That would just be bad. There we go. All right. That's a wrap up, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I'm Jason.
I'm Jordan.
And,
cheers, Internet.
Cheers.
Oh, pie!